What does it look like to be bold, beautiful, and a bit of badass mixed in with some deep soul and a kind heart? Well, if you've been hip to the Brooklyn indie music scene in the past few years or so, you might easily identify her as Raye 6. With a staggering style and a business acumen to match, Raye conjures the fierceness of our foxiest fore-mothers. Think Donna Summer, think Pam Grier, think Vanity 6. Rest in peace, Denise Matthews. But she definitely has an edge that is all her own. And tonight, she's going to take us right up to that edge and show us what it sounds like to follow your wildest dream and take your greatest leap. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Well, I hope so. I'm your host, Queen GodIs, and this is that supersonic sojourn brought to you live, better known as B-Side. Buckle up, Brooklyn, and keep it locked.
Trust. Is there a fire burning me up? Drifting off to sea, don't wait to run. So weak in the knees, tearing me up. It's you I trust. There is a fire burning me up. Yeah, yeah. Forgetting to breathe, don't make me blush. Like a serpent in the sea, I'm stung from your love. I came here to glorify your touch. I came here to glorify your love. I came here to glorify your soul. I came here to glorify your heart. Said we're lifted on a faded grain of sand. Lifted on a faded grain of sand. Said we're lifted on a faded grain of sand. Lifted on a faded grain of sand. Said we're lifted on a faded grain of sand. Lifted on a faded grain of sand. Said we're lifted on a faded grain of sand. Lifted on a faded grain of sand. Said we're lifted, 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 lifted. Oh, said we're lifted, lifted, lifted. Oh, said we're lifted, lifted, lifted. Oh, said we're lifted, lifted. tonight, tonight, She did that with her mouth closed. Y'all saw that? That girl ain't even open her mouth for that.
Okay, Brooklyn, you have officially been introduced to Universe 6. Yes. So
Welcome.
I want to jump right into it. I first met you probably through a series of Facebook photos, but we actually met in person for the first time maybe 9 years ago on the set of a commercial, a Greater Than AIDS campaign, AIDS awareness, which is an interesting way to meet as artists, right? And since then, you've had many incarnations.
Completely.
I want you to take this moment to reintroduce yourself to the world. I am Raye 6, and today I am
Raye 6, and today I am fierce as usual, and fabulous, and free, and I am a songstress and a writer, and a lover, and a best friend to many, and a sister to all.
Awesome.
Yes.
And let's take that electric energy and
Introduce the band.
introduce the band.
So I'm gonna start with Miss Lynette, who had her mouth closed, honey, while she was singing that opera part. Y'all better get into it. Get into it. And then over here we have the fabulous Henry on keys. We have sexy Sam on guitar. And we have Do It Danny on percussion tonight.
Hey!
This is the band.
That first song was called
Lifted Sand. Yes.
I want you to talk about that. You know, in Brooklyn, there's not a whole lot of sand around. So let's talk about what that song is about. What inspired it?
It's my esoteric song. I was in a relationship for like 6 years, and I realized no matter what I was going through in my relationship, I just had to write how I felt. So this song is a representation of just that point in the relationship where the only thing that's holding it up is a grain of sand. Like there's nothing left to it. So it's pretty much a conversation between a man and a woman. You know, like, who do you love? Who do you trust? Is there a fire burning me up? And it was a question I had to ask myself, and I had to get it out. I recorded the song in London with Baby J from Baby Records, Baby UK Records or whatever. He's worked with Amy Winehouse and things like that. But that song came about because I was just having like this troublesome time trying to decide on if this relationship was something that I wanted to be in anymore. So that was my way of just projecting that emotion, because I communicate with my songs, you know, and that was just a communication aspect of it. I was hoping that, you know, while I was recording it and writing it, he was listening to it, you know. What's left, you know, is there a fire burning us up? We were just lifted on a faded grain
Well,
of
if he's
sand.
listening now, we want to wish him well.
Yes,
And
he's doing
for whatever
very well.
part he played in that awesome ass song.
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. And since we went there right away, there was like really no build up to this place.
Nope.
You said one thing that stood out, and I think for obvious reasons, is that it was a 6-year relationship.
Yes.
So here goes this number 6. So for those who are sitting at home or in the audience who
better.
just are perpetually wondering about your name or think that it has references to things we may have heard, Vanity 6, Apollonia 6, and we do know that numbers have power and message, and so go for it. Tell us what Raye 6 means.
So my 6, I'm into numerology. Before I ever discovered that 6 was my number based off of my birthday and things like that, I came up with 6 because I was born on the 15th of the year. 1 and 5 is 6, and I was born at 1:32 a.m. 132 is 6. So that's how I got my 6. And then when I really started reading into it, I realized that as a Libra woman in the year that I was born, I won't say what year, in the year that I was born, 6 is my number. So it was just a godsend regardless. That was inevitable that that 6 would come to me. And I went solo
I used to do a lot of background work for artists, and I went solo, and I'm like, I need to come up with a name for myself. And I got Raye from Regine from when I was in school. My name is not Regine.
Okay.
My schoolmates got my government name and turned it into Regine, so I just kept the Raye.
Okay.
And then I added the 6.
And there you have
Yeah.
it. And speaking of going solo, I think that kind of is the transition that a lot of people make into what they call the valley.
Yeah.
The in-between, the shadow place sometimes that is not always glamorous, but is always necessary. And that said, let us go into song number 2, which is called Valley.
She's so good. She good. Woo.
Exhale. Can the congregation say amen? Amen. All right, let's do this. Shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-doo-wop, we'll be forever. Wah, 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 wah. Shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, shoo-doo-wop, we'll be forever. Wah, 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 wah. What happened to my baby? He used to drive me so damn crazy. Where did my lover go? He used to treat me so damn special. I sing on every mountain high, valley low. If I love you, the world is gonna know. Sometimes you gotta say it, huh? I sing on every mountain high, valley low. If I love you, the world is gonna know. Hey, 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 hey. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be forever. Why? 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 Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be forever. This picture perfect moment could last forever if we both just trust. Forget the world around us, be present, just the two of us. I sing on every mountain high, valley low. If I love you, the world is gonna know. I sing on every mountain high, valley low. If I love you, the world is gonna know. Yeah, 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 yeah. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be forever. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be together. Shoo-be-doo-wop, we'll be forever. Wah, 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 wah. Freedom of love expressed in your physical valleys above. Your love is a pinnacle. Night after night, I pray that you feel it too. Being in love is something incredible. Freedom of love expressed in your physical valleys above. Your love is a pinnacle. Night after night, I pray that you feel it too. Being in love is something incredible. Freedom of love that you feel it too. Being in love is something incredible. Expressing your physical values above. Your love is a pinnacle. Night after night, I pray that you feel it too. Being in love is something incredible.
All right. All right. All
The
right.
Valley, there you go.
Ciao.
All right, let's are y'all okay? Okay. I will check on you periodically. Let's go back, Raye.
Yes.
When was the moment? How old were you when this chose you? I like to phrase it that way because I feel like this is even greater than what we think it is
Yeah.
as practitioners of it. And so that is the case. Let's just give it that power. How old were you when this chose you? What was that moment?
It was from the moment I could speak. And I know a lot of artists say, oh, I've been singing since I could speak. I literally have been singing since I could speak because of my mom. My mom was like the woman that would get dressed and go to the club and her little sequins and her shimmy dresses and everything. And it was like she had all of this music. There were soundtracks to what she did. And I listened to those things. And my mom, it's so funny because she loved music a lot, but she couldn't sing at all.
Okay.
But she would go to work and she would print out, because you know you just didn't have printers at home back in the day. But she would print out every lyric to everybody's song, and she would come in the house with her little green like flip over note, whatever it was, and she would open it up and start adding her own words and people's lyrics and stuff. So I'm like, I don't think this is right. But she would be getting dressed and, you know, working on her lyrics, changing people's words to the songs in the mirror, listening to Anita Baker's and stuff. And I'd just be right behind her singing. I'd be singing. And then, you know, when I got in grammar school, that's when I learned that my voice could be used to get me places.
Okay, explain.
Because
Tell us what you mean.
in my grammar school, there was a magnet program that you could audition for no matter what grade you were in. And by the time I was in about 5th or 6th grade, I started auditioning for these magnet programs about music and stuff. And I would do it every year. They were like, well, you know, you have to wait till you're in 8th grade, you get into high school, you go into this. But I would audition, and then I finally got in 8th grade and auditioned to go to a university choir, half high school, half university choir, where they taught you how to read and write music and how to sing and all of that stuff. So I realized after that, like, oh, I could use this to my advantage to not go to high school for the full day. I started using, honey, it got serious.
So that was about 11 years old.
Yes, I
where
would
that
go
trajectory started. And we want to acknowledge your mom. I mean, it's usually those first moments that either make or break a dream.
Yes.
And so we want to give her some
props
and some credit.
Thank you for going to the nightclub.
We're at 11 years old. We're around 11 to 13 years old.
Yes.
Holla to the church that is also called the nightclub for many people. All right, moving right along. What would that little girl say to you right now?
She would say to me, keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't give up no matter what obstacle comes in your way. Keep doing what you love. I love music. And sometimes being in the business of music, the love leaves because you have to deal with so many different people that just make you sick.
Okay, so hold that thought.
Yes.
What would you say to her, 11-year-old you,
Say to her,
from this moment right now?
keep singing.
To keep singing.
Keep singing. And
so
keep
you both
writing.
would give each other
some great advice.
Great advice.
Yeah, we would give each other great advice.
And I think that advice between the you that you are, the you that you're becoming, the you that you were,
Yes.
and the symbiosis between all of those places is the epitome of Black Girl Magic. I'm dubbing this episode Black Girl Magic in homage of your mom and
Yes.
the younger you, and of this shirt.
Yes.
If you could describe Black Girl Magic, for me it would be this shirt right now. It's like totally glittery. I mean, there's a meme that goes around somewhere between glitter and goon.
You gotta watch it shine in every direction.
Right.
Oh God.
What does that phrase, that idea mean for you? How does it show up in your life? And how would you explain it to someone?
Black
who has
Girl
no idea?
Magic?
Yes.
Just believing in yourself, and even when you're going through hard times, knowing that you are your best conqueror. You're the one who's going to help you solve your problems. There's no outside force that's going to help you be better than what you can be and what you can do for yourself.
Good. So that's the perfect segue into this quote, is we're going to try to do a lot of honoring of the people who've dropped these jewels for us.
That's right.
The quote is, caring for myself is not self-indulgent. It is self-preservation, and that is an act of political warfare.
That's right.
And that is Audre Lorde.
That's right.
And I want you to talk about, before we even go into the albums, before we go into the styling and the clothes, let's talk about self-preservation and wellness and what role that plays in how you sing, what you sing, and how you made it today.
I think everything always reflects back to my mom. Like she is a strong woman. She's a very strong woman, and she taught me earlier and ahead of time to be independent, almost to the point where like it was bad is a bad thing, because I really didn't think I would need anybody. You know, I was just like all race 6 all day, even boyfriends, friends. I don't need your advice. I don't need my business partner's advice. And in a sense, that's a good thing, because you get to know yourself, you teach yourself, you learn. But then in a sense, you always need some sort of help. But my mom taught me to be a really strong, independent woman. So I knew self from the moment I could look in the mirror as a child. Like I knew that was me and her in this for the rest of our lives till the moment we die.
Well, let's let that resonate a little bit more. Sing a 3-line love poem to your mom, and then let that segue into the next song, which is called I Wish.
I love you, Mommy. Let's do this. I wish. I wish.
Wakes me up with kisses on my face, holds my hand when we're on a date, tells me that he loves me and I'm beautiful, 'cause God broke the mold when he created ya. He's my doctor when I'm feeling weak, he understands me when I don't speak, he touches me all over my exterior, he doesn't treat me like I am inferior. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love. He's always there, never fails to show me that he cares. Says, baby, when I touch it feels like home. His heart belongs to me, he does it wrong. Stop traffic just to kiss me on my lips. Shows me how real love can get. He's my soldier, helps me win the fight. Conversations morning, noon, and night. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love of a man. I wish I had the love.
crying. Oh
For
my
those
God.
of you who are just tuning in, this is Raye 6, and you are maybe asking, where can I hear that song again, or just look at some more of her photos, and you can go to ray6.com and find out all you need to know. Please do that. Let's talk about Life of 6. I'm going to preface this by saying, if over the years I collected data of images or ideas that stood out to me about you just based on our interaction or things I've seen from you on the interwebs, some words would be the pinup calendars, makeup, styling, hair, videos, and cupcakes.
Yeah.
I pay attention. I love it when, you know, someone who you see in one way can like really throw down and do something totally like that you would never guess. Let's imagine that Life of 6 is a meal. What are the ingredients?
Ooh. Can I say the whole meal, not just the ingredients?
You can
She
tell
is
us
going to be a blackened salmon that has been marinated for 3 days, honey. Okay. And with a nice, what's those biscuits? The layered,
Grand's
biscuits.
Oh.
She is a Grand's Pillsbury biscuit with a spinach and feta cheese, cranberry, and almond salad.
Okay.
She is hearty and healthy.
Awesome.
And dirty at the same time.
Okay. Now let's translate that for the metaphor impaired. Let's translate that. Let's just give it straight, real talk. What is this album? What is it about? You know, what can people expect?
This album is a culmination of my love life, my pain, my wants for my family and my mom and my sisters and the people out here in these streets. This album, I think this is one of the best albums that I've ever written, in my opinion. I'm going anywhere from talking about my feelings to praying to God for the things that I feel like my friends and my family and my fans need, you know, because it's not just about me. I think I am a vessel for everything that's going on around me. So I'm the voice of not just my generation, but every generation, you know, young and old.
Well, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into that, but we have some songs that and people at home are praying to hear some more. So let's try to get as many songs in and then like try to get as many questions in.
Let's do it.
We're going to go into the next song, which is called I'm Deciding.
Talk
Raye
about
6,
love.
everybody.
This is one of those songs that you make when you're at the end of your relationship and y'all completely broken up. But you know, it's that one moment you're like, should I take him back? Should I take him back? So I had to write it so I didn't take him back. So if I needed to write this song. So it's called I'm Deciding. Let's do it, y'all.
Ooh, baby, I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. I'm deciding if I should forget what you said. You said you hated me for so long, damn, that's crazy. We've been down for so long, damn, I thought we could make it. I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. I'm deciding if I should forget what you said. We ain't hold on to love, lost the bed, damn, it hurts me. Lost all respect, so you said, tell me, boy, was it worth it? I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. I'm deciding if I should forget what you said. How could you become a stranger to someone after all we've been through? Put your pride aside, apologize, baby, 'cause damn, I miss you. I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. I'm deciding if I should forget what you said. said you hated me for so long, damn, that's crazy. We've been down for so long, damn, I thought we could make it. I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. I'm deciding if I should forget what you said. You said you were ready. I'm deciding if I could forgive you, baby. So how you gonna give up on love? If I should forget what you said. You said you were ready for love. You said you were ready for love. No. Forget what you said. So how you gonna give up on love? Forgive you, baby. You said you were ready for love. Forget what you said. So how you gonna give up on us? Oh no. You said you were ready for love, no. So how you gonna give up on us? So how you gonna give up on us? Yeah.
I will take the liberty of saying that's a very beautiful song, to which I have the instinct that a lot of people will relate to, and that was a very beautiful photo. Let's talk about when things are not so beautiful.
When things are not so
When
beautiful.
I had the first time to actually hear some of the new material about a year ago in Brooklyn, and afterwards there was like flooding,
Yeah.
which we all know about that.
I cried.
Yeah, you did.
I
And
cried.
you know, some people can't cry, and
Yeah.
some people cry every day. It's the flood that, in many ways, is necessary. It's the flood that exposes a lot of things. It's the flood that cleans a lot of things. Let's talk about when things are not so beautiful. When the makeup is off, when the clothes are on the floor, when you can't find the right outfit, when things are not as glittery. What is that? What were those moments like? How did you make it through that?
I had to find myself again, and everything reverts back to this relationship, because it's like you're in a relationship with a person for 6 years and you're like, oh, we're getting married, we're gonna have babies, we're buying houses, cars, and we were both musicians, so it was like our life and our business aspect intertwined, you know? I had to find myself again because I am a serial monogamist.
Okay.
I have been in a relationship since my mother allowed it. And my relationships last for 5 to 6 years, like all of them. So if you think about it, that's like most of my adult life with another individual.
Sure.
So, I mean, even though I'm strong and independent and I know myself, you kind of mold yourself in what you love and you like based off of this person that you're with. So it took a long time for me to get comfortable with my own thoughts, with time, you know, trying to figure out what to do by myself. And, you know, not the way I think, because I always think for me. I think for us, actually, in a relationship, I'm not going to lie. And when I'm in a relationship, I think as an us, as a we. But it took a long time for me to figure out those things that I wanted. And thank God that I have music, and I have music that can help me release those things and just help me figure out my thoughts. Yeah.
Well, I think that for some people who think they know you, or may have been introduced to another version of you,
Yeah.
to hear you, the independent woman, to see you, to take you in that way, and then to hear you describe yourself as a serial monogamist, that may not register for them. And it's probably because of the one word that would get associated with you a lot. And I actually don't want to use that word. I'm going to use a different word. Well, I'm going to reference the word, but we're going to talk about another word, which to me is more important. So the word is sex and sexuality.
Yes.
Like that's that's the word that will pop up a lot. But I want to talk about pleasure instead. There's Joan Morgan, who is a great thinker, a great mind, writer. She talks about, she made a statement that feminists are kind of allergic to pleasure. And This quote is by a mentor, E. Francis White, and it's how Joan Morgan opens her articulation on the politics of pleasure. Morgan contends that pleasure in all the ways it manifests in women's lives must become a feminist priority, particularly for Black feminists of color. I want to talk about pleasure because I think that when people are introduced to a woman who has a overtly like a big relationship with that idea, that there are all these other ideas that may not match up with what you just described. So I want you to talk about that, how that resonates with you, how you claim that, what that means, and just go in.
Pleasure, sexualization, that's, I think we look at Black women and we just always over-sexualize things. And I know early on in my music, I expressed a lot of my sexuality. And it's because I'm free. Like, there's nothing wrong with sex. I think in America, we're the only ones that look at sex in a very bad way, and it shouldn't be like that. Right. Sex is a beautiful thing, when it's done with people that you're into, people that you love. So I express myself like that in a way, because it is pleasuring to me. At the time, it was pleasure for me.
And what about now?
Right now, yeah, I'm dating a lot.
Okay. In case y'all were wondering, I didn't ask you that, girl.
So I got my pleasure. The pleasure is there, but like I said, it took me a long time to find out what I wanted, what made me happy. Even though in a relationship I knew I was an independent woman, it was hard just being by yourself and just sitting with your own thoughts.
Now let's talk about some of the complications of that message. So you are a human being living your life. You've earned your stripes in a lot of ways. You have ownership over certain things, and then maybe people who don't know you or who are watching you, or other 11-year-old girls who are maybe having that first conversation about their introduction into their world, are watching you. What is that conversation? How do you own what it is that is yours and that you've earned, or what you're exploring, and then also facilitate that dialogue for other people who are,
I would say just don't let anybody use you. Whether it's for sex, your heart, your mind, your soul, whatever it is. Just don't let anybody use you, because that can cause this ripple effect in the future for you to think everything is bad. Like, as women, we grow up and we're taught, like, it's not like boys. Boys are like, oh, go out there and get these girls, do what you need to do. Girls, you better keep your legs closed. Don't let anybody touch you down there. Don't do this. There's more to sex than just here. There's an intimacy of opening yourself and letting people get to know who you are as an individual. And that's the thing, just make sure you let people know who you are as an individual in any relationship that you're dealing with.
So the message here is to learn yourself, be present to it, and find your own ways to preserve it, but also to be free with it. Yes. And if you want to go any deeper with Dr. Raye, you can do that another time. But what we're going to do right now is go into another song, and this song is called Because. Thank you very much.
Whoa. Perfect leeway into this song. Let's do this. You see her? She's never been on the internet.
Just the other day, we decided that the future of the world's at stake. Too busy glorifying everything that's fake. Sacrifice your soul for a piece of cake. Sitting around surfing the internet. Saw a mother break it with her ass and breast. Wondering what's going on in her head. Mother sells her soul for a big ass check. Police violence, war, mass pollution, rape. Idiots playing the knockout game. All you worry about is who's this week's pay. I tell you, everybody's going insane. I'm about the people and the disconnect. LOL, I heart you, love you all through text. Instagram's determining who's up next. The preacher man ain't preaching, all he wants is sex. Cops kill a little black kid today. Now he's on vacation with suspended pay. And all you worry about is who's this week's bae. I tell you, everybody's gonna win insane. I'm grown. I make my own. You don't like strong. You like them dumb. Because I'm grown. I make my own. You don't like strong. You like them dumb. 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 You like them dumb.
We went into this song talking about the 11-year-old girls, the young women who may engage in a dialogue with you that you're not even privy to, and how that can be complicated. But also acknowledging that whether you intend to or not, that we all in some way influence each other. And so we talked about how we're accountable to that, but also how we, you know, how we handle that in whatever way, shape, or form. Let's talk about who influences you. I want you to name drop. I want you to talk about the local artists, and then I want you to talk about the bigger name artists who have really contributed to all that Raye 6 is, and who they are, and why.
Local artists. You.
Oh.
Yeah, you are. I've always watched you online before we met, and I was just so amazed by your voice and the things that you were right. You stood up for yourself, and you stood up for women, and I appreciated that. You are one of them.
I didn't expect that one.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
You are one of them. Kimberly Nicole. Kimberly Nicole, she is bringing that black rock to the masses because people forgot where rock and roll came from, and she's definitely reminding them. Who else? Treasure Empire.
Shout out to
She is
Treasure
here.
Empire sitting in the front row.
My friends
if
are
you didn't
great.
say it, I was going
yes,
to.
my friends are great. Treasure inspires me. Treasure, girl, your transformation, honey.
Yes.
Sitting.
And for those of you who think we're getting a little too personal, we're really not. I do this name dropping on purpose because we hear the same names over and over. But it's really these people who are doing the groundwork in the trenches, who have been on to songs like maybe even Formation before it was done on that scale. We're not talking about it. I'm just saying that there are people who are doing these kinds of things that influence us, and you never hear them. So I do this intentionally so that the audience can go home and do research on this and be exposed to something
I'm inspired by every woman in my life. We are some strong estrogen-filled people. We got, I feel like we estrogen and testosterone. We got a good balance of it. Yeah. We got a really good balance.
And speaking of balance, let's segue into some of the men who have influenced you, and let's start with Prince.
I think, you know what's so crazy about that? Prince does not influence me.
Okay, good. Now that we have that clear.
I've never said anything about Prince in anything. It's just people started calling me the female version of Prince. Why? Because I had light-skinned dances.
Oh.
No, seriously. No,
so
for
we have
real.
reached another level of this conversation. Right?
For real.
Which is, I think, a perfect segue, right? So we already have these echoings of Vanity 6. Again, acknowledgement to Denise Matthews, and I imagine that was a very interesting life, right? And then that transitioned into Apollonia 6, which there was a lot going on there. And so we're making these associations.
Because of the 6.
Because of the
6 and the fact that I had these light-skinned bubble girls. And people were like, oh, she's the female version of Prince. And that was cool because he's an icon. He is a great writer, producer, singer, everything. But I wasn't influenced by Prince. I love Purple Rain, and I love the song Adore. But he was not a big part of my life.
Okay, good. So now that we have that clear, let's go into the next song. Because,
but let me just shout out Michael McDonald real quick because I love him.
Oh, Michael
I love him. I love Michael McDonald.
And we do want to blow kisses. We blow kisses to Prince. We do blow kisses to Prince. All right, this song is called Dear God. Raye 6, ladies and gentlemen.
Dear God, thank you for allowing me to see another day. Sorry I've been smoking so much, but it takes the stress away. God bless the universe and all those close to my heart. Give me the chance to move forward with this side. Protect my family. Send my mom the man that she needs. Look after my sisters and niece. And keep my brother safe in these streets. Dear God, I'm calling on you. Heal my heart from pain. Make them wanna change my last name. Say a blessing for this love. Make it last to the heavens above. Dear God, I'm calling on you. Dear God, thank you for my day today. Appreciate the blessings you gave. You kept me wrapped up in your love. Kept me away from the negative stuff. I pray tomorrow I'll be the best reflection of me. I promise to do my best in heaven's name, 'cause I know I've been blessed. Dear God, I'm calling on you. Dear God, I'm calling on you. So sometimes you gotta pray for the things that you want. And I prayed for the B-side. And I prayed to find a manager that made it happen, and she did that. I prayed for all of you to be in the audience tonight. But most importantly, I pray for this world. I pray for the world that we live in. I pray for our little black brothers and sisters that are out here getting caught up in these streets. I pray for everything right now. And even if you don't believe in a higher power, I know you pray too. I know you pray. We all pray for something. Dear God, I'm calling on you. Dear God, I'm calling on you. Dear God, I'm calling on you.
Dear God, I wish we had more time. You have to go and do your work. This is a very layered person. And I just want to say really quickly is that in the boxes that people put artists and women and human beings, we shouldn't be friends. I'm the African one, you the shiny, sexy one.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, I love it when we get to shatter all of that.
Because whatever's written is written, no matter what the people around you say.
And whoever you're supposed to be, you're going to be.
Yeah.
Speaking of throwing out prayers, we want to shout out Kim Knox, who is your manager of You Thicker Than Worldwide. And we want to shout out your family and community who has supported you through the beautiful part, but also through the ugly parts. And there will be more of everything. And so we shout you out to continue taking that ride with you. And we want to shout out March 7th at Brooklyn Bowl, which will be a headline performance for Miss Raye 6 and family. Shout out to the band at Brooklyn Bowl, March 7th. So check that out. I want to ask you very, very, very quickly, if there's one action that you want the audience to take after they leave here, the audience at home and those in here in the studio, what would that one action be that would help them support you as an independent artist in the next level of your career?
Just always listen out for what I'm coming with. And I support you, you support me. Just keep continuing to be who you are, because I'm going to exist as well as you, so we're not going anywhere. We aren't. We're not going nowhere. Hi, Sarah.
And anything else that you want to say?
Write down your thoughts. I know we're so caught up on computers and technologies and our cell phones and things like that, but pen and paper still exists. Yes. Write down your thoughts. Write down your thoughts.
Write down your thoughts.
It's
be
therapy.
Free. Be yourself. Follow her music.
And come
show
see
love,
me March
get
7th
it back,
at Brooklyn
see her
Bowl.
March 7th. That said, part grit, part grace, and all boss. I'd like to thank my powerhouse friend, Raye and her salacious band for transporting us to a soulful and sexy place, reminding us of the kind of music that may have been responsible for many of us being here today, if you know what I mean. And even more than that, Raye, for reminding every artist out there to keep creating, to honor your pain and your pleasure, to find your truest song and to sing it loud and to never ever stop. For those of you at home who are moved and want more, you can catch past episodes of B-Side on our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at B-Side BK. I am your host, Queen GodIs, and not only does good music still exist, but it inspires, it transforms, and it uplifts. We love you, Brooklyn. Till next time.
Telephone rings, hear your voice, asking what I'm wearing, am I home alone? Panties on, you know I'm gone. I hope you've been behaving, I can't wait to come. Close your eyes, just fantasize me kissing you across your back and down your thighs, teasing you, pleasing you, sending chills down your spine the way you do make you say, oh, oh, your favorite panties on. Yes, I'm alone. You know I need you now. When are you coming home? Wanna do top of you, under you, or over you, in front of you. I'm missing how you hold me down. Faster, harder, deeper, never slowing down. Screaming out, say out loud. Oh, 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 oh.